Happy E3 week. Let's talk. What up, viewers? What up, Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, June 9th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said, this was not E3 week or like the main week in which things are starting to kick off. There is still going to be an Xbox and a Starfield direct later this weekend. I think Ubisoft Forward is like sometime next week, I think Monday or so. But things did kick off this week. First thing I want to talk about is the big kickoff, Summer Game Fest. So Jeff Keighley, as the only show in town, got to start us off. Start for the most part. I'll talk a little bit about Apple's thing a little bit later, but Jeff Keighley started things off this week, and as usual, he went a little long. His Summer Games Fest was a 3-hour stream, which quite extensive considering a lot of the times he was talking to people. I think that's probably just where the length comes from, is as he brings people on. He wants to show off all the cool people he can get and bring them on stage. And this is the first time they've done live since the pandemic, so maybe he went a little bit overboard on that. But it was excited to see Nick Cage on stage, even though he was talking about his cameo in Dead by Daylight. But I want to start off with what first caught my eye, which is what they first rolled out, was Prince of Persia. And like most people, I was thinking that they were going to start talking about the remake. I know that that's got a new developer and they're starting from scratch, like I reported on a couple weeks ago. But no, they have a new Prince of Persia game. It's a 2D kind of spiritual successor, just kind of a 2D game. It's not kind of retreading or anything, at least from my understanding. So they're just telling a new Prince of Persia story in a 2D format. And we got a date for that. That is coming out on January 18th of 2024. So January release. January is a very busy month in the games industry nowadays. So interesting to see that. And the kind of art style, the 2D kind of gameplay really caught my eye. So I'm very curious what's going to go on or how that'll turn out. Another game that I am very much looking forward to, we got a date this time. The sleeper hit 2018 sleeper hit Remnant is coming out with a sequel later this year, and we have a confirmed date for July 25th. So I'm very excited for that. Really excited to jump into kind of Dark Souls with guns with my friends, play through that co-op and defeat some bosses. Hopefully they have the kind of roguelike mode built up and running, so because that was a good way for me and my friends to engage with it as we were playing it later. I don't know if that'll be the first way I engage with it now for the second one, but for this one, I will be very excited for Remnant 2 when it comes out in July. We got to see a little bit more Alan Wake. I know we get to see some at the PlayStation Showcase last month, but we got to see a little bit more. I got to see a little bit more gameplay. Got to know a little bit more about one of our two protagonists with Saga Anderson, I think is the character's name. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I played through the first one in college, so very much looking forward to playing the second one. Although it still feels like a linear narrative. They keep talking about survival horror, which I kind of maybe I guess like a Resident Evil is very linear, even though it's a survival horror game. But I don't know what I was expecting more of like survival, live in the world kind of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what they do with Alan Wake 2. So looking forward to that. Got to see a little bit more Space Marine 2 gameplay. Again, another game I played, the prequel or previous game I played in college. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Space Marine. The co-op aspect I thought was pretty fun. The only way I could play Space Marine with friends last time was to play the really janky multiplayer. So I'm looking forward to playing killing a bunch of Tyranids with my friends in co-op and hopefully progress to the story. So looking forward to that. And then there was they ended it all with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the next installment in the trilogy of Final Fantasy Remake. So this is the next installment, and that's due to come out early 2024. I played through the first one and really enjoyed it. I haven't played any like the micro DLCs in the meantime, but I'm looking forward to that one. Although I do appreciate all the memes that I saw this week about it coming out on 2 discs. Pretty interesting that it comes on 2 physical discs. I mean, most people will probably be downloading it anyway, but they just had it down there, and I know a lot of people were making fun of them for it. So pretty interesting stuff with that. Those are all the games that caught my eye. There was 100 games and things that people were talking about. There were different trailers. We got to see the Witcher Season 3 trailer, which I was excited for as well. But let me know if there was something that I should have caught on to that I didn't in that rather drowsy 3-hour presentation. Right after that, there was Day of the Devs. So right after his presentation, there was more indie games, less of the big name AAA publishers. There's a few games that caught my eye in that, but there was only about a dozen or so games in all in that Day of the Devs kind of 1 hour showcase. So I know a lot of people would be excited for Hyper Light Breaker, which is I think the sequel to Hyper Light Drifter, another game that I know a lot of people really loved. But the game I'm very much looking forward to from Day of the Devs was Viewfinder. It kind of gives me that super liminal feel where you take a picture and then you can like apply that picture to the world and then kind of use that to solve puzzles. So very super liminal in the idea of like taking an image and making it work for you. But this one you get like a Kodak camera and you can take a picture and change the world around you. So I thought that one looked really cool. So I'm very much looking forward to Viewfinder coming out of Day of the Devs. Everyone's favorite E3 showcase happened this week as well. The Devolver Digital Big Fancy Press Conference, except for this one was all focused on Volvi. I think their new mascot Volvi. They did their typical thing where they have like a documentary style kind of showcase talking about something. In this case, they glommed onto video game nostalgia for iconic characters with this made up Volvi character. So sprinkled within that are the games that they announced, 2 of which that I saw and caught my eye were Talos Principle 2. I know a lot of people really liked the kind of Portal-esque feel of Talos Principle 1. So looking forward to Talos Principle 2. And then I thought Wizard with a Gun had already come out. Also, still a great name for a video game. And the fact that we're still seeing it makes me think that hopefully we'll get it soon, because I've been hearing about this game for a while, and it looks like a fun game that I would definitely enjoy picking up, maybe playing on my Steam Deck, much like I did with Cult of the Lamb. Moving out of E3 stuff, pretty big news this week. A lot of athletes are asking for a boycott of EA's college football game. From the articles I read, the athletes only get like $500 and they're not getting royalties, even though the game will be using their likenesses. I think this has always been kind of an issue holding back the college football video game. I know a lot of people have been asking for that for some time. But the idea that the characters don't own their own likenesses because they're still in college, like there's a whole weird legal aspect to this all, because the colleges can sell off their likenesses without their permission. It all gets really weird. And so I think I do support the boycott, and I think there's a lot of knowledge you probably want to get if you want to purchase this and still feel good about yourself. But I'll have a link down below kind of explaining that in the couple of articles that I've seen about it. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Like I said, this week also saw an Apple showcase. It seemed very part of E3-esque timeframe. This year they were kicking off their Apple VR headset. And in typical Apple fashion, they're charging way too much. And the headset will be $3,500, which I am not unconvinced that you can't buy literally every other VR headset on the market for that price combined. It's very expensive. I don't know what it brings to the table. I don't think I remember seeing any. I only watched it briefly, so I don't remember seeing if there were controllers or not. What you get with this kind of really expensive headset. You could also, was it clear? Could you see through it? Or maybe that was just kind of like the digital rendition of people wearing it. But I thought I think that everyone was talking this week. Just the price point is jaw dropping. Most people are kind of coming in. I think PlayStation caught a lot of crap for their $550 headset for PSVR 2, more expensive than the console itself. So that's what made people kind of blink. And the fact that this is freaking 7 times that price. It's a standalone headset, so you don't have to plug it in anything. You don't have to have any superfluous hardware. But yeah, that price point, Apple, keep doing your thing. But yeah, I'm not putting this one on my Christmas wish list or anything. That was just, I don't think that's going to sell at that price. So yeah, pretty curious to see what you think down below. Moving right along, Coke has been doing some weird partnerships and creating some weird flavors. I think they had Dream flavor that was a couple months ago. I don't even know if that was a partnership or that was just something they did. But they've got a new partnership with League of Legends where they're making a Coke flavor that's supposed to taste like experience points or like leveling up. So everybody knows the famous ding from like World of Warcraft or League of Legends. Ding and you've leveled up. I'm curious how they kind of try and make a Coke taste like that. Coke, the one experience I'm going to get out of tasting a Coke is that I don't like Coke. So that's the only XP that I'm going to get from that. But pretty curious to see what that Coke flavor tastes like. It would be definitely worth at least trying it out to see if it hits the mark. There is for fans of retro consoles and Lego consoles. The Lego Atari 2600 set was discounted on Amazon this week, so I looked into that. It's from $240 down to just $200. I think it would look good next to my Lego NES, but I probably won't be buying this anytime soon. But if you want to check it out and purchase it, I'll have a link down below in the description. Diablo's only been out for a few short days, or at least officially out for a few short days. And people who bought the collector's edition or ultimate edition have been playing it since the beginning of the month. But we've already started to get stats, and one of the stats is the most popular class, which I've definitely seen a lot of necromancers running around in my 60 or so levels playing the game. But apparently sorcerer is the top most favorite class, as the article I was reading pointed out. This is also one of the classes that's been there since the beginning. So I've also seen a lot of rogues running around. So it's just really surprising to see sorcerer, because I've seen a lot of barbarians, a lot of necromancers, myself included, and a lot of rogues. But nope, apparently sorcerers are the reigning popular class. So it'll be interesting to see what they're. I'm curious in making a lightning sorcerer, because I played that in the first beta, but yeah, somehow that's the most popular, even though it's the class I've probably seen second least behind druid. So somehow there's sorcerers everywhere out there. So let me know what you're playing in Diablo 4, if you're playing at all, down below. Moving right along, John Romero, one of the co-creators of Doom and Wolfenstein, the world's first FPSs, is putting out an autobiography. It's called Doom Guy, A Life in First Person. Pretty good name. And I think I do have Masters of Doom on my wish list, which I think is believe is like kind of telling the story about how Doom is created, but this is a first-person autobiography account with one of the co-creators, so it could be pretty interesting to read that from that perspective. So curious to see what John Romero has to say about Doom and all the time bringing up one of the most iconic franchises of all time. So check that out, put that on your wish lists, and looking forward to that. Last but not least, saw a fun fan film, which I don't know if it's considered a fan film. It was made by one of the creators of the game, but the game director for Thief made a fan film about Thief. And all it did was make me want to play. I'm trying to think of what the most recent Thief game was. I think they had a Thief one, like a Thief kind of remake, restart game for Xbox. I think it was made for the Xbox One. Yeah, I want to see more Thief. I know that they probably burned a lot of bridges with not too good iterations in the game, but I could definitely do for maybe a Thief remaster or something else in the Thief universe, because I really liked playing those when I was a kid. So and the fan film kind of gave me that feeling as well. Although it all being in black and white and it being very like jump cut, it felt a little weird, very fan film esque. But still don't know if you can call it a fan film if it was made by one of the creators or directors for the game. So interesting to call it a fan film, but that's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. All the links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye.